Alright, everyone. We are back with the next episode of the Raiders Rambles. I am Jolt, your chief host of the show for today, and as always, but unfortunately, I am not joined by my co host Avira, who is unfortunately feeling crook, so he will not be on today. But not to worry, our host today will make great showing for you, and starting with, as always, our interim host, Noble.
Ooga booga booga!
Oh my goodness, you could probably do the whole. You know what? You could probably do the whole boogity boogity boo thing that the American hosts so love. Isn't that right? Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm just gonna keep to the Courage the Cowardly Dog ripoffs.
that's good. That's perfect. And joining us on the show, we have No Dragons, please.
Hey everybody, been a while.
I know it's been a while since we had you last. Pleasure to have you back on.
Yep, pleasure to be here.
First question: what would you do if I mulled over and actually made myself partially dragon? Do I have to be yeeted out into the world, or do I get Genesis?
It depends. Are you eliminating only bad dragons? Because that we're okay with good dragons that also want to take out bad dragons. We're fine with that.
Yeah,
Let
that's
me get
fine.
my sword and shield.
And my spells and everything else. So I'd be like, I'm safe. I'm safe. I'm good. And joining us today, we have Icy Puffer.
Yes. It is so good to be back on after a long hiatus from me. Thank you for having me on tonight's show, and I hope all y'all are having a fine evening. And to everybody on this wonderful planet, here's the hoping y'all are doing well. Much love.
Guys, happy to have you back on. So, yeah. So, for first and foremost, a couple of newskeeping items
Yeah.
about certain records that have been around. Of course, start with things. Pal World, it's still taking the world by storm, so we'll just quickly gloss this over. Well, 2 weeks they have achieved 12 million players on Steam, 7 million on Xbox Game Pass. So all up, that's 19,000, and in just a span of 2 weeks. Crazy is that?
I mean, that's what happens when you actually make games as something for people to enjoy and not propaganda.
Right. That's also what happens when you
Is
when you see a
this is this 19 million players?
That's right. All up. And you know what? And for a game that's only what half the price of a full game, at $30, I mean, man's been raking 300 million bucks already. Plus.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's $50 Australian though, but holy shit, this game is really kicking off. Nintendo, you might want to take some special notes.
yeah, no. Nintendo will continue to. Nintendo will unfortunately continue to make Pokemon mediocre.
Well, they had explanations at one point about the reason why they only include certain features in certain games, and it's like, no, you're just
They
taking the
said
piss out of all
Pokemon
of us.
mediocre.
Well, it's become stagnant more like. It's by no means bad. It's just become stagnant and, you know, technologically limited.
And also, Scarlet and Violet was just not a very polished game.
Right. And then you know what? Like I play up Power World and I go in there and when I get the ability to fly, holy crap! The scope and the sheer scope and size of the world is crazy. Like fuck, you actually one point you actually scaling up volcano proper.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's like now in 2024, there's really no excuse. You gotta get the hardware, otherwise, yeah, keep up.
Oops.
But that is that. So first, we've got some pretty interesting items to share with you on this clown ride that we're on. So let us get stuck into it. Okay, here's the first thing that we've got. a live stream Dungeons and Dragons one shot will take place inside the vagina of the game's biggest monster, and it's for a good cause: science and education. No, this is a real site.
Oh, you are absolutely kidding me, right?
Okay.
I
Okay.
really hope this is 18 plus.
Okay.
Yeah, at this point, it's like now it's like we have to put the 18 plus tag on. I should have warned you all earlier, but
Oh God.
better late than never.
It's okay. All caves must be explored one day.
Damn.
All caves need
That's
they need to be
savage.
raided and plundered for that sweet loot. You're damn right about that.
Oh no.
Oh.
Oh man.
Oh, and get this, like I know this next time is gonna get everybody just off their rocker. Venture forth, critical hit, and slay that bad dragon.
No, this is not okay.
Oh, next you'll tell me they're going to have it with 2 giant dragons.
Well, that might
Do
be that might be how you explore the cave, Noble.
I'm sorry, but are they going to do like a David Attenborough impersonation during this?
If they would, that would be. Imagine the documentary. Here we have a giant dragon, also known as one of the mightiest beasts in this plane. And here we take a closer look at one of its wide openings. Ah, yes.
They're really trying to appeal to the male population 18 through 25, aren't they?
What about the lesbians?
Oh, that too.
I mean, considering that the Dungeons and Dragons direction is heading towards a different inclination, yeah, you're not wrong. So, online, the Dungeons and Dragons streaming show Science and Sorcery has teamed up with the UK's Vagina Museum to host a money-raising one-shot titled Critical Hit to help promote the museum mission statement of raising awareness regarding gynecological anatomy and health. See? We look at that sort of, we get to study the insides of a dragon for science, for good, for health.
Well, I mean, as long as it's for science, then it's okay, right?
After all, it is a noble pursuit,
Okay.
is it not?
Oh, to bring you guys can call me crazy all you want, but speaking of dragons and such, there have actually been legit sightings of these things. Did you know that? There's been recent sightings of dragons, legit. They're just very elusive, and they don't want you to see them.
No way. It's almost like
Huh?
That's
you can name any other creature and they'll be like, yeah, holy cow.
That's
Yeah,
because they're trying
dragons
to
are
stay.
actually real. It's crazy.
It's because it's trying to stay away from the Vagina Museum. If we find a dragon, just imagine what we're gonna do for science.
Oh,
I'm
are
sorry,
you
but
talking
this-
about cross species?
I'm sorry, but this is just starting to
I'm
remind
sorry.
me about
I
those.
couldn't resist. Okay.
This is reminding me about the research that was done on 2 bears that kept giving themselves blowjobs. It's like, why?
Why? Alright, live comment. Here's a good one. Boombox. Have they tested the dragon for COVID first?
um,
You know, I don't think dragons can get COVID, right? Their fire breath would just kill all viruses.
Yeah, it's and most
Probably.
of the time dragons are pretty much impervious to a lot of like negative status conditions, so there is that.
Dragons are beautiful. If you know, dragons are beautiful though. If don't get me wrong, dragons are gorgeous. I would like to If I ever saw one, I'd probably shit bricks. Wouldn't we all?
Here's what this. Okay, imagine if you were the DM for a second, and
It's
this is
supposed to be a
this is
mythological creature.
what they've come up with. The story revolves around a band called Critical Hit, who discover that their masters have been stolen by an evil dragon. ... The band has to join forces with their greatest fans and infiltrate their dragon's lair, which is located inside the reproductive system of a very well preserved terrace.
Wait, is this necrophilia because it's already
What?
dead?
Technically, yes.
that's messed
Oh, oh no!
Good Lord, we're talking about this in the podcast?
So
Jesus
hold on,
God almighty.
they go from a vorophilia fetish to necrophilia. Just wow!
Hey,
Like,
I
no
mean,
holds bar
Oh.
here.
there's only a few philias that are not approved by society. All right, not approved by me
Man.
either. I guess
The things
necrophilia is
people
okay,
post
right?
these days.
Mhm.
What can I say? What can I say?
Yeah. That is one layer that I don't think my squad of people raiding would ever want to go into.
No, imagine you'd need a museum that big if you even tried to raid that thing. Imagine that. Like, that's the description of a Tarrasque is, quote unquote, a scaly biped. The Tarrasque is 50 feet tall and 70 feet long, weighing hundreds of tons. Yeah, that's pretty huge.
But can I get an ultra rare
What kind of
sword from
dragon is
inside of
that?
it?
Is it a wyvern or something?
It's a Tarrasque. It's a big, like, scaly reptilian, you know. 5
Oh,
feet.
here we go talking about
Dragon
this
nest
kink
thing.
now.
Yeah, can you get an ultra rare sword? I mean, frick. You know, that depends. Is it a fixed thing, or are you at the mercy of the random number generator?
Hey, as long as the sword doesn't vibrate, I think it's probably a usable weapon.
Oh, for crying out loud! It's a good thing my sword's made of cardboard. Otherwise, it'd be really going for you to know dragons.
No. The most pertinent question that I have to ask is the sword, well, clean? First and foremost.
It only has the blood of your enemies.
No. Fair enough. Fair enough. But, like,
Oh, goodness.
but just look, like, let's imagine for a moment, let's do a bit of a little exercise here. Like, let's imagine for a moment you're basically the DM, the dungeon master of the game, correct? And yeah, and you're charged with with running the whole expedition.
I'm tossing the table and running.
Right. It's like you can imagine it already. You stand forth between a forebodingly dark cavern entrance, and it smells so, and it has like a million different smells. Who will be the first one in? Roll for initiative.
I mean, you could see if there's train tracks, it'd be giving the term running a train a whole new meaning.
I know, right?
Ah,
Then again, yeah, but then again, this is like a cavern that's like friggin' what? A lot of foot deep and all that. Like, you'd be hard pressed at first things first. Can you imagine if there was like some sort of there had to be a boss fight in there?
I mean, they're facing the dragon, right? In there, so there is some type of boss fight that's going on.
Oh, you're not wrong.
A weird one at most.
Oh, heck yeah.
Huh?
Oh, yeah. That's basically putting it very mildly, though. But then again, if
We talk
if
now, out of
in-
all the kinks we had to bring up, it's that one.
Hey, I people find this is reality is stranger than fiction sometimes. Okay.
I think the writers had too much time off on their strike, and they got to sites they shouldn't have been at.
All right, I just have to ask, but is there any other like details revolving around this whole session thing that they're gonna want to hold?
Yeah, do you explore it with duck lips?
Oh,
Right. What do you explore with? Do you explore with duck lips? Do you carry on, bring out the biggest weapons, or do you just
and Mike,
basically, yeah, or do you just keep basically bringing a spear and stabbing it hundreds and hundreds of times?
I mean, who knows? Either way, it is definitely some sort of royal gorge.
Yeah.
Oh man. I it's interesting what they'll put on TV now.
Well, it's not exact. Yeah, I mean, it was streamed on Science and Sorcery's Twitch channel, so I don't know. Imagine that.
You can buy advantage or disadvantage on rolls.
Right, like imagine that, like you basically you carry the spear, and then when you make a move, you roll a 20.
Okay, so here's a question. Can one of the penalties for for a critical fail be that you slip into the wrong hole?
That's disgusting. What the? Okay, what are we talking about? What topic in specific are we talking about here?
Hey, they're the ones who made up this idea to partner with it and go places where people are never supposed to. But
you
then
know,
again,
starting this off, I had this question about whether or not they were just going to roofie the lizard, or if there was going to be like some sort of pay or wait till she was asleep. But wow, this is going down a rabbit hole. I didn't think.
hey, I know, right? Like, then again, you know what? I don't know who's gonna say "hold my beer" to this. Would you rather? Who would say "hold my beer" to this or Baldur's Gate 3?
I don't know at this point.
Mm,
I mean, dude, one of them gave my relative PTSD. The other one, yeah.
this is the kind of stuff I would have expected Neverwinter to come out with.
Oh my
Man,
god, no! Next thing you know, the next.
Hey, Joel,
Next time-
your relative isn't alone. I have PTSD as well.
Yeah, but imagine that now. And that what does this forebode for the future of Dungeons and Dragons games? Well, this is we'll ask that. We'll ask that a bit more later. But
If
for right now,
conservative Christians didn't want to touch D&D before,
right
try it now.
now you'd be damn worried about it. Because there's so much Christian underpinnings in Dungeons and Dragons' past lore and what have you. It's what the heck has that begun? We come now. Oh well, we'll worry about that now. We're gonna ask the question of what the future.
You know, my
of
mic's
this is
been
gonna be.
running this whole time, and you guys yet to complain about the static.
Well, it means it's running good. All right.
Mhm.
So to answer the question, we're gonna segue into what the future holds. Because now the owners, Hasbro, are looking to sell. They're reportedly looking to sell Dungeons and Dragons amidst continuous financial struggles, and now the Chinese are maybe interested in getting it.
So they hold the literal worst idea they could for a tournament, and around the same time they're looking to sell. Ugh.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah,
gonna be a
maybe you
low
should
bar.
have run that freaky science experiment.
I am not a fan of them selling to Tencent. I'll tell you that much.
Right. Because imagine that, like, what does Tencent have? Like, they've got like a pretty big, impressive portfolio of stuff,
Yeah.
and yeah, and the Tencent is like what? They're just buying up all that stuff. So like, imagine, like, yeah, let's have a think. Like, who would be if you laid out all the big, game firms, who do you think would do Dungeons and Dragons the most justice? Like the biggest RPG firms.
I would think probably From Software would be the best one, but I think aren't they Bandai Namco? Like a Bandai Namco subsidiary?
I mean, Bandai Namco pretty much publishes most of the all the Souls games and what have you,
Yeah.
right?
I guess Bandai Namco would be fine. I mean, they haven't fallen to the prey of a lot of the Western video game companies yet.
Maybe not, but that's something we'll talk into in a good few minutes. Maybe you're right,
Yeah.
but on the Western side of things, like you've kind of got slim pickings. What have you got? You've got Bethesda, you've got Square Enix, Blizzard.
I mean, two of those are just Microsoft.
That's right, and then Square Enix is, well, of course, Japan, but still kind of westernized to some degree.
Yeah. The Western video game market is getting slim pickings anymore.
True. Yeah, now because Microsoft's basically been buying them all up, and they're basically going to become like this whole, the if nothing else, like the mega monolith of games, if that's what they're trying to become.
I mean, maybe it's not all bad. Maybe Tencent will actually care that Dungeons and Dragons needs to make money, and by that, it'll start becoming better. Oh wait, that didn't work for League of Legends.
Right.
Ah,
Well, maybe, heck, like God forbid, if Tencent got their hands on it, they'd have to cater to Chinese sensibilities and or what have you.
yeah, it wouldn't become the imagination game anymore. It's like no imagination. You play by our rules, or you don't play.
Most people won't play by the rules. That's the problem.
Yeah,
Yeah, but right now, look at they're in this big pickle now. Look at what they've done right now to Dungeons and Dragons. They've made the fifth edition thing. You got to have a license to host your own Dungeons and Dragons fanverse thing. If you remember that one, and yeah, a lot of questionable creative decisions. And in fact, the creators, the developers of Baldur's Gate 3, Larian, they couldn't take it off their hands because Larian's not even doesn't even have the funds to do it. So what's left, right?
Nice. Don't seriously do that.
So maybe, what if instead of looking towards game studios, what if we took it upon ourselves and we ended up owning Dungeons and Dragons? What would you, do with it? What would you change about it?
I see.
the
Can you?
the only thing that I would probably change about it is not well. I'd let people make their own stories and make them part of the official fandom.
Yeah, the official canon.
Yeah, well, except with maybe the exception of the Tarask expedition that we talked about not that long ago.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's probably for like the Dungeons and Dragons After Dark.
Yeah,
I prefer to take the oldest people who are still working in the company and make sure they at least know what they're doing and then just leave them in charge. It's like, here, turn the company around. Goodbye.
Yeah, of course. Like restructure it. Like cut other people that aren't being productive to begin with, and then after that, yeah. But and then what else would you do? Like the rule sets. What about five? Do you want to revert back to the older editions?
I
Or
mean, the latest edition I played on was 3.5, and that was some time ago, but I thought it was pretty good.
yeah, no, yeah, that's fine. Because I mean, yeah, five basically introduced like a lot of crazy stuff like combat wheelchairs, and then and they have, and remember they got all pissy about orcs and stuff,
Yeah.
and then to which end it's all it's just not all been hundreds of roses. Speaking of which, what about other buyers too? Like you got, there's still like a lot of the other action or RPG game based games too. Like, what if we gave it to we got the bakers of Witcher, CD Projekt Red.
I think that they would actually make a pretty good Dungeons and Dragons, just based on the Witcher games.
What about if Virgin bought it?
What Sir Richard Branson?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that to say the very least, that would be very interesting if Virgin decides to get up and start
What if
getting into the world of multimedia.
What if Warren Buffett bought it because he just buys whatever?
What about Elon Musk?
Welcome to SpaceX's version.
Oh,
of
don't
Dungeons
get
and
me
Dragons.
started on that motherfucker. I've been hearing rumors that he's trying to live on Mars.
Well, he
Oh,
might.
didn't
I
you
mean,
guys hear that
that's
he's
why-
selling
that's
all of
why
his
he's got
houses on
SpaceX
Earth
and
just so he can
Starlink.
live on Mars?
Yeah, that's why he's got SpaceX and Starlink. But you can imagine if Elon Musk bought it, we'd have Dungeons and Dragons, but in space.
And if Warren Buffett bought it, we'd have Dungeons and Dragons, but with real estate now.
Yes, you must. Yes.
Oh, you know what? Microsoft is already buying everything else. Why not buy Dungeons and Dragons too?
What about Apple?
I don't want to know what Apple's fan base would cause Dungeons and Dragons to become.
No, they probably be like let the game only run on Macs and iPhones.
They'd probably
it'll
force
basically fall into the curse of mobile gaming.
They'd probably force everyone to use titanium armor.
Well, that may or may not be a good thing. But again, this is Apple we're talking about, and they don't really have the biggest profile in games, so
Yeah, I mean you've heard that what they're trying to do though. Trying to change that apparently.
I
By
don't know. I
force.
mean, nobody uses Macs for like serious gaming. Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
And even then, the Mac it's a bit late for the Macs to get into the console market right now. Unless, of course, it's going to be like Apple Games, and it'd be like the version of Apple TV but for games. But that's a whole can of worms that we can open up later.
I mean, you just have to tell Apple that there's money in something, and they'll start going and developing for it.
Yeah, they'll probably then you've got yourself an overcharged copy of Dungeons and Dragons just like that.
This is our new Apple console. It's $700. Everyone else is only $300. But ours is Apple.
Ours has got the A17 chip in it. Ours is made of titanium.
And it basically looks like a cheese grater or something, given how.
We also put a highly expensive chips in like every single ribbon cable.
Yeah, true. Just give it that long, and then about that point, you've gotten it. So, but yeah, but I guess that's pretty much where they're looking like at the moment. It's pretty much where Dragons is headed. So, what can you do, right?
Grab the popcorn and watch the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe see if they go to shit, or maybe if it's even savable, if anything, at that.
I shudder to think what would happen if Tencent actually acquired it.
Yeah, no, they'll actually put like put microtransactions up the wazoo with it to begin with, if anything.
Here's patch notes. You have to pay 99 cents to read them. What?
Don't give Tim Cook ideas.
Oh no, it's not Tim Cook, Apple CEO. It's Tencent, the Chinese. In fact, you know what? What could actually do? You know what? I might actually. You know what could we do? Like we could probably give it to the Koreans. You know, Nixon and all that. They make it like I don't know. What would they do? They probably like make it all look so cutesy and all that.
It would be cutesy, and you'd have to do 100 polls per character, like every other. Oh no, wait, that's Mihio. Sorry, they're also a Chinese company. I forget about that.
Yeah, but the Koreans would make it like look super cutesy and
And there would be an epic dance sequence every like third scene.
You're not wrong. No, in fact, they'll probably make a K-pop song about Dungeons and Dragons, and it'll be like on cinemas. They'll make a K-drama out of it. So I guess there's that too. It will, however, increase. It could, however, increase the traffic to Korea, but yeah, that's real. Ah well. To move on to the next items. Yeah, like No Dragons, you brought up, Bandai Namco. So we're
Ah,
gonna
yes.
we're gonna segue into that one next. Bandai Namco localization teams admit they ordered Japanese devs to censor their female character designs. Quote, unquote, we tell them that their cleavage is a bit too exposed or the skirt is a bit too short.
Yeah. Gotta love good old censorship.
Yeah, like let's be frank. There's something fundamentally
Oh
broken
yeah, beautiful
when
thing, ain't it?
yeah, when those in charge of shepherding have begun to proudly censor and boast about censor a given artist's personal work. And yeah,
What is
and it's
that? What kind of car is that?
I don't know.
I
It
don't
looks
know.
like it's free advertising, free views. Don't give it to them.
I know it's just
It
Johnny
looks
Atomics is running the
inviting.
stream, but
That game looks really inviting.
hmm.
You ain't dying on me, laptop. You ain't dying on
But
me.
yeah, like
Now you ain't.
let's have a look at some of this stuff. Like ask
Talking
for
to
their
my, I'm
thoughts on the
talking to a laptop.
right. Looking at this now is like I asked for their thoughts on the local round of discourse surrounding English language localizers ongoing, self-important butchering of Japanese media. Bandai Namco Europe senior localization manager Frank Gentry offered his support to this cultural imperialism and praised just how effective their efforts have been, particularly regarding how Japanese game developers dress their heroines. And then, yeah,
What game was this for again? Sorry.
like you've got things like Soul Calibur 6, Tekken 8, most of the latest crops of things that Bandai Namco publishes, and like let's take a look at the main point of thing here, like Tekken 8 here as well. Like how when you look at Japanese the Japanese way of designing female main characters, what do you normally come up with? What do you
Tig
normally
old
see?
biddies.
Exaggerated.
Tig old biddies.
It's usually
Yes.
very exaggerated
Yeah.
Yes.
in either the sexually attractive type or the I'm going to pound your face into the pavement sort of thing without getting that bitchy sort of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Yeah, and they have a the Japanese have a very big fixation on westernized females like blonde hair and blue eyes. Basically among other things.
Hey guys, sorry if I'm not as talkative. Sorry if I'm not being very
No,
talkative, guys. I apologize.
no, it's fine.
I'm just, waiting until you guys, throw a question my way and I'll answer it.
I mean, yeah, most of the questions, yeah, just open ended. Like I ask and to ask what you guys think.
Yeah, like you're
But
you're
yeah,
right,
so that's
Joel.
pretty
This
much
this
it, right? Like you see
topic
these
seems
Japanese,
super simple.
yeah, you see these characters. They're more exaggerated. They're more, they have these cultural mores that and what have you. And really, like,
I think this is what makes the Dead or Alive series just such a welcome kind of parody on fighting games is that they
mhm.
do not censor at all. They got
Yeah,
jiggle physics out the wazoo.
yeah, no, you're right.
Sexy
They're
physics.
shameless about it though. And that's just what they get. But now it's so weird that now, like you've seen it right too, both all of you guys, like how like what all these Western regression stuff is starting to seep into, Japanese multimedia like games, anime, and that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like whether
Perfect
it's
way to kill off the franchise.
mm, character design or bad, localizing, like deliberately mistranslating things just to push a central statement or something. You've seen that, right?
I have. I actually heard this from another YouTuber recently is that Western media companies are giving us the games they want us to have and not the games that we want to play.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah,
things like Power World come out.
right, exactly.
And they
And
pretty much just gaslight you into saying, "Well, why do you like Power World?
yeah,
Because it's
and you know
fun."
what? And even then, the developers of Power did also say that
Yeah, you have a monkey
they
with an
stuck.
AK-47.
Yeah, yeah, and then they also say they stuck with the whole body type 1 and 2 stuff because the developer says Americans like to make ugly characters sometimes.
I also like the we needed guns or else it wouldn't sell to the American audience.
I'm sorry, but on paper that just sounds stupidly ridiculous, but in actual reality, what was it, like 16 million at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah, 19 million all up
Oh,
is, and still, you can make your character as ugly as you want by making it dummy thick. And he was right. But yeah, like as Americans, no dragons, icy. What do you have to say to the defense that the Japanese man says Americans sometimes like to make ugly characters? What?
I mean, you've seen Cyberpunk, right?
Yes.
Oh, I want to play it.
So
I want to
my
play.
my
How
example.
good is Cyberpunk 2077?
Oh, I haven't played it. I've just seen some awful character designs from the Cyberpunk subreddit. It's like, oh,
Ah,
why? Why would you do this? Yeah, I mean, I'm not offended by the Pal World statement. I actually think it's kind of true. Americans do like to make ugly characters.
Yeah, but what do you think, icy? Like, do you think
ow.
you or you as an American or Americans in general, sometimes like making ugly characters? What do you think? No idea. I mean, honestly, not honestly. I don't know. Every single time I've seen it, like American comics, I see a lot of other stuff. That's just why do they come? Why do they design like this, right?
Yeah.
Like you guys look at the current crop of American comics, like like Marvel and DC are pumping out, and then you look at the character designs, and it's like, ugh.
They're not great anymore. All like creative freedom is just shattered in the United States.
It kind of reminds me of Sequest DSV and how after a certain point they're like, well, Star Trek did it.
Mhm.
Boy, did that show go down the hill.
Maybe that's why American artists are so afraid of AI, because it's like, wow, this AI made a prettier character than I can ever make.
No, it's just
Yeah.
some useless dick that gets a hold of a franchise and then just drags it down to whatever level they think's going to sell.
And now and you bring up a good point on that too. Like, do these people localize because they're insecure that the Japanese can make prettier women than them? That or is it something else? Like they're insecure that they have to
You,
downtone that sort of thing.
in my experience, they're either worried about the super, super conservative Christian women who are like, my little Timmy's not going to be playing this game because there's tits hanging out. Or they're worried that they're going to offend people. And that's what it boils down to, is we're too worried about
Or they're
offending.
just gonna say the old classic word that game is the devil. Right? Like that's an old school way, like a mother or a father would say it's the devil. What the fuck happened to my hello?
Right. So why so again why why
Yeah.
why make them a bit less, why cover them up a bit more or something, or downsize those things? Again, goes back to are they insecure about, are these people insecure about, how women should look, what beauty really is?
Oh, I'm sure that plays a part of it, but I think it mostly boils down to Americans are so afraid to offend anyone now.
Yeah, not entirely wrong.
Except for gamers. We're the most oppressed.
Gamers rise up.
Gamers rise up. All gamers matter.
Gamer lives matter.
Meanwhile, in Japan, the crazy great gamers are telling people to wash their necks. It's like, fuck.
See, and that's how you don't get neck beards.
Listen, Noble, all right? I got to take my once yearly shower after this podcast, all right?
What, in the lava or?
Yes. In the lava.
Why
With
you gotta
with my
why do
grass
you gotta
monkey
take
that
why do
has,
you gotta take a shower after the podcast?
because I'm a gamer. I only take one shower a year.
It's to keep the glorious neck beard all,
Ew!
hairy. But I digress. I digress.
That's
But yeah,
nasty.
no, making a joke. Come on. But yeah, no, there is another tool. Like if they really, really wanted to, cover up or modestify women, we found out that there's a tool for that now. And it's thanks to AI that this is now possible. So now there is an AI called Dignify, and you know what? And it's done something like this, you know. Like seagulls on the internet have published, they dress up like this, and now the AI basically, kind of fixes them and makes them a bit more modest. Yes.
Oh, ooh, what the hell?
So
Them some
that's
big
the original on the
boobs.
left, and on the right, that's fixed with AI.
Was this made by a Christian group or some religious organization?
No, 4chan.
No,
Oh
4chan.
man.
4chan. It's the life as a furry has to start on 4chan or SWF Chan.
But yes,
That's where my time as a furry began. SWF Chan. Before Fur Affinity, before E6.
Corporate wants you to find the difference between these two photos. They're the same.
Oh Jesus.
I mean,
I see the difference. I see the difference. Come back. I saw the difference. You see that device she's holding in her hand, that mechanism or whatever that is she's holding in her hand on the right? Look on the left,
Mhm.
and you can see that it's moved slightly. I caught it.
Mm.
That was hard to catch, but I caught it. You see it? Like, do you see
I
how
mean,
that
yeah,
little yellow on the right, which she's holding it on the left, it's not showing as
yeah,
much. That's the
right.
difference. It's a tricky one to find, but I found it. Oh, and I think she's missing a necklace too.
I mean, yeah, like the AI does all these iterations that but at the end of the day, like
Yeah,
the goal of it was simple, like
I'm I'm
cover up any
debating on
cover up the
starting
immodest
like
woman.
AI, like doing AI things.
I mean, what amazes me about this, Jolt, is we're so worried about censoring our video game characters. Meanwhile, we let people in real life just be like, "Yeah, I can be half naked, and people will pay me $20 a picture." Yay!
Mm-hmm. Right, right. And there you go, another one. Tattoo removal.
Huh.
I mean, yeah, I mean, tats being what they
Now,
are.
this is a game I wouldn't mind trying. Thief Simulator. Oh, I see the difference on her. The smile and the tattoos.
Yeah, and the piercings were like
The,
the
the
over the
smile was.
piercings were gone too.
The skin
Yeah.
tone's
Yeah,
a
you
lot
see how
darker
she's
though
grinning
than
on
it
the
should
left.
be.
Yeah, look at her facial expression, mouth wise. Look on the right and the left. You can see a small difference.
Yeah.
You
Kind of
know,
hard to tell, but
the only way that AI is going to get canceled is if we suddenly make an AI to turn your RBF photos into smiles because you would look prettier with a smile on.
oh,
Hmm.
yep. Hey,
But yeah,
Dragon, I
like
think we can be
literally,
good. I have a good feeling we can be good friends. Who knows? You should add me. I'm always open
Maybe.
to
literally,
talk.
like one dude posted a an AI version, took a girl's photo who's dressing immodestly, put the AI on, and gets blocked. Thought Ho's mad.
Yeah, well,
See,
you
shouldn't
know,
do that. You probably shouldn't be doing thing like that in the first place. But
modesty
hey,
is attractive. I don't know where we lost this idea that immodesty is how everyone should be.
right. Leaves much more to the imagination and what.
Exactly. Then it's like, oh boy, when you finally get to the act in the middle of a Tarrasque cave.
All right. Yeah. There's one more item that we're gonna go through. We kind of wanted to cover this last week, but
Crap.
never got through it. So this is a bit of an extra one that that we're gonna just go through this a bit together. Because why not? We got time. Halo star Pablo Schreider continues to defend Sirius' decision to regularly show Master Chief's face. If you don't agree with the helmet coming off in the show, you don't like our show.
I'm sorry. Are we reliving Pedro Pascal with the Mandalorian right now?
Oh man, seriously?
Is Master Chief's defining trait that you don't get to see him with his helmet off, right?
The downside is whoever
Hey,
they
is that
have
is
as
that Master Chief? Isn't that the Chief? Yeah, Master Chief. That's him without the mask, isn't it?
That's him in the TV series, the Halo TV series, without the helmet.
So that's what he looks like.
He's just portrayed
Oh.
by Pablo Schreiber. Now, Noble, you were saying?
whenever they decide to actually use an actor, that becomes the face for this generation of it. And I'm sorry, but characters like this really shouldn't do that.
Right. Because there's a whole thing, it just ruins the whole thing of it. The mistake that Master Chief has and all that.
I didn't really play Halo, so I don't have much for it. But
Yeah, like I mean, of course, I played 1, 2, 3, 4. Five
I
is
mean,
awesome. Uh-huh.
the thing I don't like about it is it's just another example of like companies trying to gaslight us into saying, "Hey, this is a bad show," and they're like, "Well, you don't like it because of this reason." No, we don't like it because it's a bad show.
I can also understand from the actor's point of view about how it leaves them in a position of being replaced if their face isn't on screen, but it just takes away the character. I'm sorry, but that's how I feel.
Exactly right. And even in moments where the chief is off mission, guess what? Helmet on. Still.
I just noticed this is a trend for like a lot of actors lately is to defend the very very poor shows that they ended up being in. It's saying no, that was a good show. You guys are just bigots.
Oh, sure,
Right? Like
gaslighting the
what
viewership
exactly?
never does anything bad.
No,
Exactly. Like if
never.
they, why does the movie fail? Blame men. All that stuff.
Hey, all I'm saying is if we can have a great movie with Nicolas Cage not changing his facial expression or saying a single word, we can have Master Chief with his helmet on the entire show. All right?
Hmm. I'm just saying, read this bit.
People don't feel the helmet was necessary to come off there. Such an early concept of what the show could. Oh, for fuck's sake!
Could
What are we
be like,
supposed to do with Master Chief butt fucking naked on screen now?
No, no, no. They're gonna try and give us some wokeness about Halo now.
mm,
How we really shouldn't be trying to kill the aliens that are trying to kill us because we just misunderstand them.
right. There's
Uh,
another thing here too. In order to examine the discrepancy between these two versions of the character, despite the human sides brackets, you can't tell that story without taking the helmet off.
Microsoft did it.
Right. They all and you know what? And all it did was like you've seen it all, like the dialogue between him and Cortana. That's one thing,
Yeah.
and all the
The
other stuff. Yeah.
the problem is we and this is why I don't like video games being or even just live action adaptations of anime being made by studios like Netflix or Paramount or etc. Is because they're out of touch with the actual fans who want to see this stuff. And then they make stupid decisions like, well, Master Chief is going to have his helmet off a lot of times now. No. Why? Oh, well, because you guys don't like the show. You're bigots. How dare you? All helmets matter. Or no, helmetless lives matter.
oh, come on! They're just trying to grow in the beard and they're going about it the wrong way. I mean, shit.
Mm-hmm.
But really, wasn't even necessary to do such a thing in the first place. Just remove a very, very defining part of like Master Chief's character and aesthetic, doing away with the helmet.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't watched the Halo series.
Me
It's
neither.
it's on it's on the list. I guess if he can't do character development without having his face included on it, maybe he's just a bad actor.
There's a I remember when we were talking about the car incident, how they had that shiny brand new car when it should have been an old beat up piece of junk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm. Who knew that you could carry like an old Chevy Tahoe all the way to 2552? Right.
Yeah.
And that's when that became a little meme. Like Halo, you got to put that Chevy Tahoe in the game.
Yes, you do.
Hmm. Put a No, you put a warthog turret in the back of it, and bam, instant seller. There you go. But yeah, no, honestly, at the end of the day, like, what do you see? The whole problem is like they've just, but whoever that runs the shows have just, they don't seem they don't really seem to respect, really read into or respect this, the canonical source material out of it, or
And they also just want to gaslight the consumer base because that's just what media companies do now.
Yeah, like what happened with Bud Light. That's an interesting story at the moment.
Ah, man, I'm just that's gonna be a marketing case study for years.
Oh, fuck yeah. I can't wait to see what they do now because of everything that's going on with the wrestlers. But
Yeah.
look, I'm sitting here trying to comprehend if this hasn't worked for the last several shows, this kind of changing things up. Why continue with it? Is it just the let's keep beating the dead horse until it wakes up sort of mentality, or
It's because you have politicians as leaders of media companies instead of people who want to give stories or make money. They want to push an agenda. They don't want a consumer base to enjoy something. There's no enjoyment for the consumer.
I know, right?
I feel like the meme of Palpatine from the prequels of I am the media company.
oh, for crying out loud.
Just like, look at me, I am the media now.
Yes.
But no, you're right. Like it's almost as, and it's also, like, kind of doesn't help now that now that they're trying to bring games into the world of like TV series.
It's for every one good TV series that comes from a game, there's like 20 failures. It's astonishing.
It's like Super Mario Brothers movie in 1999, I think it was, sort of set the bar.
They didn't set the bar. They set the basement. You don't go into there.
Except everyone does.
That's true. They're like, hey, this 1990 Super Mario Brother movie, it was a great one, right? Let's just mimic everything that it did.
What was that one game where they made a TV show and like the head actor's like, yeah, no, fuck this shit, I'm pulling out, and everybody supported that? Was it Witcher or?
I was gonna say, are you talking about Henry Cavill as the Witcher?
Yes, that's the one.
Because they were gonna they told him that Geralt needs to be something else, and he's like, no, I'm done.
Yeah. Why can't we get more people like that making these shows?
I'm actually glad that the production staff of The Witcher made Henry Cavill mad, because now he's working on a Warhammer 40k series instead.
Oh
Right.
shit.
Yes, light this. About to light the spliff real quick. Hold up.
Nice, man. Like, friggin'. And now, you know what? They go travel away. More of a game. Like 40k is gonna. 40k is gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be great.
Mhm.
Still haven't heard what they're gonna do with season 3 of The Witcher, or is it season 4? I don't know. The next season of The Witcher.
Because and now, like, not even Hemsworth could save the Witcher.
Yeah.
So really, at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, now you got
Some
all
good-
this Mark and yeah. But alas, you know what?
Hey, Joel, may I ask you a question?
Yes. Yes.
All right, I got a question for you, for the three of you. How is my microphone acting? I had it on the whole time, and I never got one complaint regarding
No,
the
static.
the
no.
static. So I take it the microphone's starting to
background
work
noise.
right.
Yeah.
Is it still static?
When you had it on, it's good.
There's no background noise.
Yeah.
You did have background
Oh, when
noise
it's on,
popping up
is
now
it
and then
still
by
good?
cars going by.
or we had something like running.
Oh, that might have been
something big
earlier
that-
when the furnace was running. That might have been the furnace running. It's not running right now.
But still,
And the show's practically over. It's already past 8.
yeah. And that's pretty much where I'm about to say that this is this is all the time we've got for the
Yeah.
week. And well, there's quite
Yeah,
a
it
couple
was
of interesting
fun.
things.
I had a good time.
Yeah, yeah. There's quite a couple of interesting things that we had to unpack and dive into, so to
Yeah.
speak. So, who'd like to make a closing statement for yeah,
I want to go first.
yes,
So, with just what we were covering with Halo, going to be interesting to see where that one goes. The whole Bandai sort of, semi-flashy thing. Okay,
hmm
probably not the best thing to do. D&D though,
I'm a spliff one out.
it's getting to the point where I could probably buy it
Yeah.
for like $2 Australian.
Give me a second.
yeah. And
Yeah,
you
the,
basically
the,
make
the
the
cherry
bargain
on
of
my
the century.
spliff just went out. Hold on.
You buy it for
Like-
$2, and then you sell it for like millions after that.
I mean, you buy it, you back the way the fuck off, and you just let the community build it back up again, and just
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Sorry, but
Yeah,
I
it's
get
probably-
the idea of sexual fetishes. It's probably not a good idea to bring it into shit like that. No dragons, please.
Yes, exactly.
Especially,
Your
it's not
turn.
a good idea to bring up stuff like this in a podcast. It's pretty inappropriate.
So I'm gonna quote
Who's?
I'm gonna paraphrase a certain famous president and just say, I did not go explore that cave.
Oh no. Oh.
Oh man.
Good Lord.
Yeah, what a world we live in.
Oh, sweet Mary, Mother, and Joseph.
I just hope
Or
the
sweet
world
Jesus,
I
Mary,
just
and
I hope
Joseph.
I find out one day that the world isn't inside a giant Tarrasque.
Well, if that's the well, they could fit. Thing would probably fit the whole world in its. Well, I don't even want to think about it.
No.
That's an image. And yeah, last of all, Icy, got anything to wrap up with? Or maybe you can't wrap up with because all this stuff has given you PTSD. Okay, I think the right.
Oh, I hate that. I have it. It's a curse. Whew.
I know, not after what
Traumatized.
we've done.
There's no turning back from what I've been through.
Say that again. But yeah, no. Interesting
There's
bit
no
of
telling.
imagery though,
Like
but
all the stuff I've been through and the reason for the PTSD. I'm just surprised I'm still kicking.
right. So I guess that is that. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this show as much as we did making it. As always, our episodes are available on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Play.fm, iHeartRadio, BitChute, and more further down the line. Okay, this is us signing off for the week. Farewell until next time.
Click.
See ya.